Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. We're at this little intersection here. If we were to go to the left, we go to Paphos and to Marika and wiggle our way into the old town. We are going to go right and we're heading up to Tala. And, well, it's gridlock. If your name's Dizzy Blonde and you're watching, look at all the traffic here. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to have to get some blue lights. But to be honest, the locals don't even notice blue lights when they're flashing, even when they're chasing you down the highway at 150 kilometers an hour. Let's give it a bit of a boot and let's get out back onto the main road. So we're heading in the direction of Tala. Very, very popular place indeed. And of course, if your name is Sir Philip, that's where we're going. We're going to try and hunt you down because we're looking for a house. We want a nice free house, and that's what you get. When you get a title off Mr. Paul, you have to hock me your house. So, Miss Sita, start packing, you're moving out. Only joking. We're heading towards Tala. To our left-hand side, technically, is Ember. And to our right-hand side, I suppose technically, is Masoi Avenue, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Well, I might call it Ember, I'm not sure. And then over there, you've got, what is that resort called? I think it's called the St. George Resort, isn't it? There's a big resort over here to my right hand side. That's the St. George Resort. Mixed. Well, it's mixed. Some of it's been rented out to tour companies, some of it's been bought, and unfortunately some of it is in receivership. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. But nice location, very, very convenient. Bit of a walk to the beach, obviously, but you can walk, I suppose, but it's a bit of a walk. I would get a car, and anywhere around here, to be honest, if you happen to be renting an apartment or a house or a hotel out this way, to be honest, you're going to need a car. And I've said this a few times on the channel, you know, if you're new to Cyprus, or perhaps if you're not that familiar with Cyprus, and now you're going to venture away from the beachside hotels, and you're going to rent a house or a villa or an apartment, or go somewhere that little bit off the beaten track, and you're curious to know where it is, but if you want a special video made, you drop it in those comments, the address or the apartment complex, the hotel complex, and Mr. Paul will go make a special video for you. What do you have to do? Well, all you've got to do is click through to our about page, where you will find the little icon that says buy me a coffee. You hit that 4 or 5 times and I promise you that little video will be coming especially for you. And if you just want to say thanks for something we've done, or a big shout out, again, hit that little icon and your name will be coming very, very soon indeed. And we thank you from the bottom of our 2 hearts. And of course, the one that's overlooked, it's called the super thanks on YouTube itself, where you've got the like, where you've got the dislike, which obviously you can hit if you don't like us. We don't really mind that much. And scroll across, there is download and I think mixing and all these little icons there. And then there is one button that says super thanks. Well, it actually just says thanks with a heart, with a $sign. And again, you can hit that and contribute anything from £1 upwards, I think, up to £1 billion if you want. But don't worry, we'll still keep coming back and making special videos for you. And there's many people who have done it. Lord Ritchie, he's done it a few times, thanks very, very much. Ian Costas, thanks very, very much. Of course, Phil and Sharon, thank you very much indeed. And we'd like to say thanks to all the people that do come back and watch us, whether you watch us for a second or whether you watch us for 20 minutes. Whether you watch every video or you just come back now and again, we thank you, and we thank you from the bottom of our 2 hearts. Tala village is here. Well, that's what the sign says. We are on Tala, Lower Tala. You've got like a bit of a playground and park area there. Lots of villas around. There's a JCB heading up, so that could mean there's some big diggering going to be going on. Lots of people like JCBs, don't they? It's something from your childhood. I think it spans the world, doesn't it? Internationally recognised brand. And most children love a JCB. Most adults perhaps don't love a JCB quite so much, because we understand it's going somewhere to dig a big hole. So hopefully it's not going to be outside Mr. Phil's house. Sir Phil, sorry, I'll get used to it after a while. Sir Philip, and of course Lady Sita. So they're up here in Kamara's village somewhere, so we're going to hunt him down because he owes me a few coffees and a few cans of chilled Coca-Cola or 2, and if I can twist his arm, I'm we're going to get his house as well. Mass supermarket, look at that. It's actually a kiosk. It's morphed into a mini market. And when you walk in there, it's like the TARDIS. It's like an Aladdin's cave. You want some pool cleaning? There's Max pool cleaning. And if you want some baguettes, that's where you might go. If you want some tablets, whatever they may be, pop into the pharmacy. You've got a hair salon coming up here called The Salon, so you should remember that name, that's for sure. And then if you want a bit of security, if you want to keep Mr. Phil, that's Sir Phil to you and me, from burgling your house, perhaps you should go and see SAS Security. They can put up some fencing and some alarm systems and all those kind of things to keep you safe and sound while you're in downtown Paphos. Now you never know, we may get an opportunity to overtake this JCB, but to be honest, I'm quite happy behind him, even though the one behind me is not. So guess what, Mr. Andy? We'll stick behind the JCB and go that little bit slower, just to annoy the living daylights out of the person that's stuck up my bottom. Uptown Tala is coming. When we get to the top, but we've got a big church coming up on the left hand side, spectacular church, and if you take a left at this church you would actually physically go onto Tala Square, and that's surrounded by restaurants and bars. And if you go and Google in the search bar of YouTube Marika and me Tala Square, guess what? We've been there a couple of times, and there's one or two special videos for you and your friends and family to watch. And it's a great place, Tala Square. It comes alive at night, and there's often tchotchke dancing on the square. Lots of fun, lots of games, great food, and a drink or two, that's for sure. Although food is actually a food. As a young boy I lived in Egypt, the most popular sort of street foods in Egypt are called fool and falafel. There you go. You see, now and again, not only do you get to see the odd, landmark or two, you get to get a little bit of information about other cultures, if you're interested, that is. Now, this is a big roundabout coming up, and it's a funny shaped roundabout. It's not actually a roundabout, it's more an oblong. If you start to notice it, someone's been big digging on it. They're doing something. That's where the JCB may be coming. It looks as though they're going to put a monument. It could be something. You can do some paving and all those kinds of bits and bobs. Anyway, if you're watching Sir Philip, are you getting worried? Yes, I bet you are, because we've entered into the district of Kamaras village. He's going to hunt you down. Get the kettle on. I'm looking for a coffee, and get those cokes out of the freezer. And don't forget to hunt down your title deeds, because I'm looking for your house. This is the area known as Kamaras. Very posh people live in Kamaras. They're all sirs and lords, like Sir Philip. There we go. So we're going to do a bit of a wiggle, we're going to do a bit of a waggle. I apologise for the weather, by the way. I mean, the temperature, if you're wondering, if your name is Miss Dawn, you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, you've got a little cat called Miss Daisy, and a very clever dog called Bobo. The temperature outside, even though it's a bit gloomy and there's a bit of a dust storm going on, the temperature is actually 28 degrees. Yes, it's very hot indeed, and you can get a suntan, that is for sure. Quite recently, Rachel and Chris, the superstars from Essex, they were in downtown Paphos. Chris of the fame of walking the two blonde beauties. Oh yeah, he wasn't happy with one, he stole mine as well. So he walked the promenade with us with two blonde superstar beauties. And Miss Rachel, well, they're only here for a week, and she managed to catch herself one hell of a tan to match her beauty. That is for sure. We's deep in Kamaras village. This is all full of millionaires, yes, because if you want to buy a house around here, you're going to need $1 million or two. Well, some of the bungalows are a little bit cheaper, should we say, maybe $350, $400, but you still need a couple of bob, don't you? You need a couple of bob to be able to maintain it, and then to go out and buy those coffees and those Coca-Colas for Mr. Paul. There's the Carnes, one of the best villas on the whole of Kamaras village. That's got to go for $1 million plus, definitely. Perhaps, you never know, Mr. Philip lives there. You never know. That would be a nice villa to get off him, wouldn't it? Tell you what, let's keep going to the left, because this is where we're going, and you're going to get a spectacular view. So don't click off just yet. Lord Nigel of the big guns with the lady of the so sweetness, Lady Caroline. Some of the superstars on the show, well, the girl in charge of the show, her name is Dayman. We've got another girl that's sitting by her, likes to keep her very close because she's the girl in charge of all of the legalities on the little channel called Marika and Me. She is our star and she is our superstar, and of course her name is Miss Anna Starr. And a big shout out to Mr. Thomas, her partner in crime, and of course their son and my great friend Mr. Bart. I'm wondering, are they back from Hungary? Because they went on a little vacation, not happy enough with just coming to Paphos. Oh no, they popped over to Hungary as well. And I'm wondering, did they fly there? Did they go on a bus? Or perhaps they went in their Lexus? Maybe they did. Of course, it's not that far from downtown Poland, is it? Drop it in the comments. Superstars amongst superstars, and these are some of the people that like to watch Marika and Me. The list goes on and on. Ian Costa, his partner in crime, Miss Tina. We had the great pleasure to sit and well, they entertained us more than we entertained them, and the food was absolutely spectacular in the Royal. I say Rachel and Chris, we sat with them and it was an absolute pleasure. Miss Helen and Neophytus, we sat with you, it was an absolute pleasure. The list goes on and on and on, and if you want to find us more often than not, we'll be on the downtown Cape of Paphos promenade and harbour area. Normally when we've finished our monkeying around, we'll go and sit in one of the cafes, one of the restaurants in the harbour area, so look out for us. We had a great pleasure last night to meet Hugo and Mura all the way from Northern Ireland, and they sent the superstar Andreas from Theo's. They'd spotted us and they were eating and wining and dining. Obviously she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and well, don't forget that, Mr. Hugo, don't forget that. And we had great pleasure to meet them. And they spotted us and they asked the superstar known as Andreas if he would pop over and ask us to come over and have a chat. And of course we will. So don't feel if you see us that you're interrupting us, because you're not. We had the great honour to meet Shady Tree and his shady lady, Mr. Mike and Miss Liz. The list goes on and on and on. So if you want to find us, and if you can't, drop it in the comments. Tell us where you're going to be, or tell us where you want to meet. Guess what? We will come Chuchki dancing down, especially for you. I'm going to say thanks for watching, and if you do like what you see, please hit the like, click the subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of our madness. Yes, Mr. Phil and Miss Sharon, we call it madness, and I'm glad to hear that you think it's interesting, entertaining and informational. We're going to finish with a spectacular view out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. I think technically now we are in Kisoniga, although some people may say technically we are in Tala. Wherever we are, the view is quite simply spectacular, and it's going to take your breath away. Look at that. In the distance, that is the blue Mediterranean Sea. We are surrounded by the beauty and the spectacality of the lower lands of Tala and Kisoniga, and it really is a great place to holiday or to live, and you're not far from anywhere. I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. What a spectacular day it is. What a great day to be alive. Don't forget to come and join us again tomorrow.